Hey everyone, we cause a mid-conversation with Lev Parnas. Lev Parnas is of Lev Remembers, the subset. Go subscribe right now. Former Trump fixer, paid the price, went to jail, came out and realized, oh, I got conned by a con man. And Lev and I, if you've been listening to us since the summer, what we've warned about, just trusting the evidence of our eyes and ears, and with Lev, uh, some of the sources that he still has within the MAGA movement, the Trump inner circle, which, by the way, so far batting 1,000. We've been warning about martial law. And specifically, what we've been saying is pay attention to what they're saying and what they're doing. And in the summer, Stephen Miller, who's the most powerful unelected white nationalist on earth, Stephen Miller, who is the only loyalist that has been with Trump for 10 years, Stephen Miller, who is the shadow president along with Russell Vought, Stephen Miller, who is the one who unleashed ICE in the summer against LA and specifically unleashed them at Home Depot and 7-Eleven with the express intent for provocation. Stephen Miller, who used the word invasion and said we're at war, we're being invaded, which is why he thinks he can suspend the right to habeas corpus and also why he believes he can invoke the Alien Enemies Act. That Stephen Miller used the word insurrection. And if you've watched the Left Hook or watched me with Lev, we've said, wait for it. They're going to create an emergency. They're going to say that one of us, some of us, are some terrorist organization. They're going to declare Antifa or the left or drug cartels or the gangs, and then use that as an excuse to crush dissent and unleash the National Guard and the military on the enemy within. Trump used the term enemy within a couple of days ago when him and Pete Hegseth did that performance in front of our military. He also threatened to send the National Guard and military against the enemy from within in October, quoting Hitler. Lo and behold, the National Guard and ICE are now straight up just being unleashed in Chicago. You've seen the horrible things that ICE has been doing, tear gassing cops, tear gassing kids, zip tying kids, unleashed in Portland. He says Portland is a war zone, all bullshit. Unleashed in Los Angeles, right here in the nation's capital. And just yesterday, a Trump appointed judge, did her second TRO, essentially, and with very harsh language, saying you cannot send any National Guard troop of any state. And essentially today, Stephen Miller, doing his media tour, essentially didn't respond to it. Like, are you still going to do it? And the sign is, yeah, he's going to do it. But to make it worse, folks, everything that we warned about today, when he was hiding, barely concealing his ruined arm, he told reporters that he did not see the need to use the Insurrection Act, but, quote, if I had to enact it, I'd do it. If people were being killed and courts were holding us up, or governors or mayors were holding us up. You look at what's happening with Portland over the years, it's a burning hellhole. And then you have a judge that lost her way that tries to pretend there's no problem. So, publicly, he is opening the door to using the Insurrection Act, which then allows the president to deploy the U.S. military and to federalize the National Guard units onto individual states. But it is under very specific circumstances, such as the suppression of civil order or insurrection of an armed rebellion against the federal government. You've heard Stephen Miller go against judges, go against attacking ICE, talking about, left-wing terrorism, openly declaring that Antifa is a terrorist organization. You've heard Donald Trump saying he's at war now with drug cartels, 4 strikes against Venezuelan, we don't know, most likely fishermen, killing, 21 people without any evidence. And now you see them with National Security Presidential Memo 7 saying they're indicators of left-wing violence, which includes anti-Christian, and anti-ICE sentiments, thought police, basically. So here you have it, folks. Everything we learned about, and another cherry on top. He didn't say he was not going to pardon Ghislaine Maxwell. He has opened the door, Lev, to potentially pardoning Ghislaine Maxwell, and I will not be surprised that he pardons Ghislaine Maxwell, considering the Supreme Court actually, in a rare rebuke of Trump, and rather Trumpism, said that they will not consider looking at overturning Maxwell's conviction. I know there was a lot, but I just wanted to catch all up to speed before I brought in Lev. Lev, what have you heard?
Yeah, I mean, no, that's just the tip of the iceberg. There's so much more going on. I mean, it's just crazy to even sit here and that we're actually talking about these things. I know sometimes we report about it, we talk about, and then we, me and you off off on the side say, hopefully this never happens. I can't believe we're even talking about this type of stuff, and now we're actually coming to a head. I'm hearing that, that first of all, after the judge yesterday, first of all, let me take a step back. This is all planned out. This is everything they're doing. Is There's no coincidences, from the fact that even putting the Democrats in the corner for the shutdown to happen. They wanted it to happen. They needed it to happen too, because that was part of the stage of going out there and purging all of these Democrat, programs and all of these people, to blame it on the Democrats, to use as part of the strategy. That's part of, if you ever, a lot of you probably never saw, or, Project 2025 is about this thick, it's about this big. But if you break it apart and take a look at where we live, it's like a basically a blueprint of everything that what's happening, the way it's supposed to happen, and how they fight back. The fact that the judge, yes, I mean, I want to give her props. Not only did she, put stop him the first time, but when she heard, she said, "Wait a
Judge
second."
Emmergut, a Trump appointed judge.
A Trump appointment, she turned around and said, "Wait a second. I mean, this is literally, you're trying to go around me. We're gonna put any, And Trump's response, from what my sources told me, was basically, I don't give a shit. We're going in. We're going in." Stephen Miller, came out attacking her early in the morning today, saying that she is the terrorist. That, well, what is she even thinking about? And to make matters worse, let me give you a little backstory about some of the stuff, what really is going on with Portland. From You can't make this stuff up, Waj. I mean, I'm telling you, it would be funny if it wasn't so serious and it was so sad. So Trump basically saw some videos on his media feed about Portland back in the day of Black Lives Matters, when they and he basically interpreted it that it was going on right now. And that's why they made this whole thing about Portland. When the people went down to Portland, you really didn't have any riot. There was nothing going on. You might have had 20, 30 people standing across from the ICE facility with some signs, chanting, doing their thing. It was no violence. There was nothing going on. So they literally sent in provocateurs. Like, there's mega, one of them being Nick Sorter, which somebody that I deal with, I've dealt with over the years, fighting him on X platforms. But he basically went in there, and I've even found video of where they're standing literally right before they were about to go in and antagonize the people. They're sitting there saying, "Oh, look, here's the sidewalk. They're standing. We're going to go right through them right now. You ready? Let's do this." And you see them going right through, right where, peaceful. There was a tent standing there on the sidewalk. They walk right in, they get approached, pushing, shoving. Next thing you know, so what that turned into, folks, just so you understand, is the President Trump calling Nick Sorter, telling him that he is going to send in the National Guard and take care of this. Pam Bondi putting together a special attorney to go in there and look at the police force, how they behave. They've also are now suing. Nick Sorter is suing the police, but that all is nothing compared to what's really now being played out. Because Trump really needs a riot. Trump really needs a provocation to really to send in the real forces. So what's taking place right now, what the media is not talking about, is literally there are MAGA groups setting up tents across from the protesters or ICE, now pro ICE. Mega protesters setting up tents in Portland. They're also putting on masks. They're also setting up, and now the provocation is going to start. They're going to ramp it up and give them a reason to do it. Same things I'm hearing is happening in Chicago, that is taking place, and also in other places. Because the other thing, the backstory of the attack on that building
What happened, Lev?
is
There you go.
that was actually Aaron calling me. I blocked it. I rarely get a call from him. He's so busy all the time. So you guys are more important. You see that? So no, that was also part of a media campaign that they needed to stage to put a provocation video out there to be able to put out to the public. I mean, look, this is they're not stopping. They're going to send the National Guard. One of the things also, Texas has given him 400 National Guard servicemen. There's some other red states that are falling in line and giving him the National Guard. And he's not going to stop. He's going to go do it, and they're going to send provocation, and that's why we, I hate to say it, but we are at a head of what everything that's going on.
Listen, I appreciate that, Lev, and I appreciate what you've heard because I don't have those sources, but I have been following Donald Trump for 10 years, and I follow Stephen Miller and others, and I've tried my best to use this channel to connect the dots and bring the receipts for people who obviously aren't masochists like you and me and live normal lives. And I've said since October, ever since Donald Trump quoted Hitler yet again, and threatened to unleash the military and National Guard against the quote enemy within, that is what he's going to do. He's also been selling 2028 merch. And then when pressed about it, he says he's just joking. And then he says, no, actually, I'm not. There's a way for me to actually become president again. JD Vance runs, then he resigns, and I, as his vice president, become president. And then he shows off his merch to Zelensky and European leaders. Furthermore, there's Stephen Miller, and he's been at it
I'm
since
sorry,
September.
watch. He put it in front of Hakeem Jeffries, and when they came in to talk to him about shutting down the government, he put the hats right next to his drink, for one in front of him and one in front of what's his name, Schumer.
Just a troll. Yeah,
Yeah, that's what he.
and so what we're saying is he's not going to leave peacefully. He's not going to leave legally. He's not leaving, folks. But he's an old man. And what Stephen Miller realizes is that they're increasingly unpopular. They're probably not going to get another crack at his wet dream. His wet dream is to undo America since 1953, go back pre-Immigration Nationality Act, go back pre-Brown versus Board of Education. You have Clarence Thomas already tipping his hand as the Supreme Court has reconvened this week. Last week, he said, yeah, we're not really into precedent anymore. What does that mean? That means he's going to go after marriage equality. You're like, no, he won't. That's what they said about Roe v. Wade. It's going to happen. Also, they're going to go after contraceptives, right? Griswold. But he won't touch Loving v. Virginia, interracial marriage. I wonder why. Oh, yeah, because his white wife, Ginny, will be really pissed off. So you got the Supreme Court hacks. The Supreme Court, however, two things, Lev, which are interesting. Two things which they recently, if you will, slapped Donald Trump down on is number one, they didn't touch Lisa Cook. He tried to get rid of Lisa Cook, the only black member of the federal board, because even the Supreme Court realizes the Federal Reserve has to be independent because they love their money. And the second thing today, the Supreme Court said they won't look at Ghislaine Maxwell's appeal to overturn her conviction because even they realize, yeah, we don't want to get near the Epstein files because over 80% of Americans across the political divide want the release of the Epstein files. As this is happening, folks, we've tried to tell you that there is a Latina, Democrat, progressive from
Arizona.
Arizona who won in I think plus 40. Adelita, hold on, I want to get her last name. I want to make sure. Grijalva. Adelita Grijalva gives them 218 votes. She said she will vote to release the Epstein files. And so the Republican government, this House, would rather shut it down than actually forget even voting for her, folks. She's been around for 2 weeks saying, hey, sign me in, sign me in. And Mike Johnson has not signed her in. So they would rather burn the government down than release the Epstein files. And the reason for that is Donald Trump is all over the Epstein files. We found that out thanks to the Wall Street Journal. Pam Bondi told them back in May, which is why Lev and I have said it's a cover up. It's been a cover up. And today, he was like, what? Ghislaine Maxwell, what happened? I don't know. I haven't heard that name in a long time. Huh? Huh? And he is not he did not clearly, specifically say that he would not pardon her. He's left the door open to pardoning her. So to me, Lev, I'm seeing a desperate aging man who, as of this week, is negative. Uh, his poll numbers keep dropping. He went -2. He's now -10 on immigration. Harry Enton of CNN did a poll that said 60% of Americans are against unleashing the National Guard. I think that number is going to increase. He's made immigrants great again. About 25 to 30% of Americans are afraid that ICE and the National Guard will go after someone that they know and love. So it seems that the economy is going down. His poll numbers are going down. Prices are going up. Allies are turning away from us. Soy farmers are desperate and suicidal. Uh,
It's really
as
bad.
a desperate cornered rat, he's good. I'm saying he's gonna go for martial law. What do you think?
No, no. We listen. I've said it all along. He's going to do. It's not a matter of when. I mean, if, but it's a matter of when. And before martial law, I mean, this week we're gonna have some more interesting stuff. I want to for our viewers. I want to be to give you a little insight of what's happening. Also, so on the October 9th, there's going to be a perp walk. We got Comey coming in. He's going to be arraigned, and Stephen Miller. I'm hearing with Trump. There was a meeting with Pam Bondi. I'm still getting some more information. Hopefully, I could get it before I break to you. But they're going after some money people. And I know they've mentioned it. I don't know if it's going to be somebody with Soros, but I'm hearing maybe Act Blue, something, what's it called? But there's more indictments coming, and they're going to be pressuring now, trying to put pressure on people that donate money and tie that into some crazy Antifa terrorists. It's about to get really, really crazy, and the problem that they're having is they can't find this. I mean, you can't make it up, but lawyers, normal prosecutors, they are willing to, even do like perp walks, and I mean, they're having problems. Even, I mean, it's even people on the inside, the crazy shit that they're pulling. But it's about to get, as my mom always said, it always gets worse before it gets better. It's gonna get worse. Still gonna get a lot worse before you. That's why we need to prepare. I know. I'm not. I want to make sure that we're not trying to scare you. We're trying to prepare you. What we're telling you is to turn this information and to be able to act and to be able to properly know what to do, what to see, what to look out for. Because there's a lot of moving parts. Some of them are meant to distract you because they don't want you to see what really is going on, like with the Epstein files. But some of the stuff is already not a distraction. Some of it they're putting into motion. And one of the things I told you and Waj, we were talking about here right after Charlie Kirk's death, they're going to use it and weaponize it. This is still part of the weaponization because if you remember, when did Stephen Miller drop the mask? It was right after Charlie Kirk's death. He came out and made a very interesting statement saying the last words Charlie Kirk said to me was he wanted me to abolish immigration or whatever, something.
The
I'm
left
paraphrasing.
wing terror threat.
The left
Blah, blah.
wing terror, and this is what you see happening. Ever since then, you've seen. Before that, he was the. We would talk about the most powerful man behind the scenes. You wouldn't hear. Yes, he'd come out, he'd make a statement, but now you see him out in front. Memphis, he's out in front talking about it with Pam and them in the back. In the Oval, he's the one now that's making the statements. He's on Fox. He's on TV. He's out there. He's giving them quotas. You know what I'm saying to you? So and then you got Trump. But the other thing was like you tell me. I mean, you're a reporter. I'm not a reporter, so I
I'm
don't.
just a commentator. I'm a simple man. I drive a
I
minivan.
know, but you've been doing this a long time. I mean, longer. So tell me how, or like the media gets kryptonite, but they don't follow up on any questions on anything that's going on. That like
Yeah.
I'm saying to you, the like you see if you see the questions that are happening, the only one that really like presses him a little bit is Caitlin Collins, and then he just shuts her up, turns her off, and then but that's it. Like if you take a look at all of the questions, it's like layups. I mean, it's like it's gotten to a point where like people are starting to get scared to ask questions,
It's
and
been that way for 10 years. It's been that way for 10 years. And Brian Karem, I've had him on, White House reporter. He's talked about this a lot. Is first and foremost, they've replaced all of the experienced White House press reporters with young folks who aren't trained. Everyone's looking for their byline. They don't have each other's back. Number two, all the people who are somewhat critical and actually do their job have been purged and replaced by the friggin'
yeah,
Tim Pools and Benny Johnsons and friggin' right wing hacks. Have you noticed he just only keeps
yeah,
calling them? Third, there is a fear of retribution across the board. Fourth, the corporate billionaire takeover of media. Just look what happened today with Barry Weiss and David Ellison and CBS News. Rest in peace, CBS News. It's gone. Larry Ellison has bought TikTok, right? So you're not going to get it. You're just not going to get it. And furthermore, it's like the dog from the movie Up. Squirrel, squirrel, squirrel. They just like go after the newest shiny thing and no one does a follow-up and no one has each other's back. So if you just did just basic follow-ups, one after another, it would be a sustained critique. And anytime this happens to Trump or Stephen Miller or anyone, Nick Shorter, you mentioned that, it was an average guy while he was talking shit who confronted him on camera and you saw him melt down. They always melt down. They
Yeah.
get pissed off. They have no answer. They get frustrated, right? They're like, how come you're not paying attention to me? Because with Trump, though, because he's such a helpful supervillain, as he's aging and arrogant, he just reveals the plot. He can't even be
Yeah.
smart or human, so he just says it. And so him, just lie. Ghislaine Maxwell, of course I want partner. He didn't say that. Insurrection Act, no, 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 we won't do that. Didn't say that. Stephen Mill, and I have a question for you. It seems to me, and we've been seeing this for 8 months now. Uh, he spent about 20% of his presidency golfing. He doesn't even read the national security memos now. Everyone knows about it. He just forget reading, forget photos. He just doesn't show up. Uh, he doesn't really seem to be doing the rallies that much. He did one over the weekend. He looked really bad, said wild things, literally cited his own book and forgot what was in his own book. I'm not making this up, folks. He's old, he's cankled. And that to me is troubling because it seems like Stephen Miller is the one running the show. And Stephen Miller doesn't really seem to be talking to Donald Trump. He just seems to be doing what he wants.
Well, it's as I reported on it maybe about a month ago. It's a combination. It's Russell Vought, Stephen Miller, and Susie Wiles.
Mm,
The three of them are running the show. So Susie Wiles is his chief of staff. Stephen Miller is her assistant, and Russell Vought handles all of the firing and all the whatever all the hiring. It was the department. I forgot what it's called. So basically, they're the three of them, and that's what was the last piece. Trump is just out there like doing bucket list things. That's why it's like he's let the basically the reins down right now and doing whatever he wants, saying whatever he wants. There's really no repercussion. In the meantime, the people that are really putting in policy, putting in whatever you call it, if the transition, it's all these three, Stephen Miller and Susie Wiles is a major part of it because Susie Wiles is uh, is like his voice. He's given her a lot of power and a lot of he has a lot of she's like become like his mother figure. Really, really, really tight relationship. She through the campaign she's gone with him, and that relationship has become really, really powerful. And that's why even if you recall when we broke that story about the meeting, the dinner that was supposed to take place at Vance's house about the
right,
Epstein stuff,
right.
Susie Wiles was supposed to be there also because she represents Trump. So wherever you see Susie Wiles and Trump not being there, that's the same thing as Trump being there.
And,
She
and
you know
Gee,
something. Yeah. No, go ahead, go ahead. That's what I'm saying.
and also talk to us about how Susie Wiles might be, and we don't know, but there's a lot of leaks happening against Pete Hegseth. Talk to us about how Pete Hegseth is crumbling right now.
Well, that's the interesting part, and I spoke about it, and you heard today Trump mention AI again. Did you hear him talk about how, we're the best in AI? We have such technology you haven't even seen ever. I mean, he can't keep it in his pants. I've reported on it that they're using AI. They use it on our generals. They're using it on Pete Hegseth right now in the State Department. So they're going to be giving lie detector tests. But what I'm hearing, it's they're in the lie detector test is going to be also camera and AI recognition because the people that are this is how crazy it is. The people that are leaking around Hegseth are people that have been around him for years, like really close people. These are not like, and that's why he can't figure out where the leaks are coming from. So yes, Hexag is crumbling, Pistol, but let me stop you and warn you, make sure, do not, there is no way he's getting rid of Hexag. I've told Michael Cohen, bet with him, and I mean, that is solid information. There's very few people that will do the things that Hexag will do, that Bondi will do. I'm saying to you, those are those type of people he's not getting rid of.
Yeah, and it's one of those situations where I feel as he's getting more desperate, he's going to go all in. But I'm curious, Lev. What we saw was his speech with the Navy. They didn't seem it was mixed. He didn't get the hooting and hollering. when he said Democrats are like Nets, we have to get rid of them, which I think is terrifying. That should have been bigger news that he called the Democrats Net, who needs to be like removed. He said that in front of the Navy. The fact that he mocked and ridiculed Barack Obama, he didn't get the laughs there in front of the generals last week when it was Kegseth and Donald Trump essentially telling them not to be gay. That's pretty much what it was. Don't be gay. Be like us. Be weak alpha men cosplaying. They did not seem amused or pleased. You see judges now more and more being vocal. You're seeing people come out of the streets. You're seeing some of the folks, and I know people don't follow this, but I follow this. You know, culture leads oftentimes, and politics is downstream from culture. A lot of these alpha bros, these YouTubers that I've been talking about, Aiden Ross and Theo Vaughn and all these other folks who got thanked publicly for helping Trump win with young men. Have you noticed this week they're backing off? They're being more critical.
Yeah, listen, that's why he's. I mean, listen, they're all over the place. That's why he's going into the martial law. That's why he's going into insurrection. That's why he's going into these things because he look what you said it on the dot. His numbers are down. The economy is going to shit. I mean, we got a stormtrooper and a helicopter all over. You know, in Chicago, the kids zip ties. I mean, the scenes. We got American citizens being arrested and then driven for 2 hours later, released because we got women that are getting thrown to the ground and beaten because they dare to ask a question. Where are you taking my son, or where are you arrested? I mean, this if we were watching, if this was if we I mean, stuttering even. I'm sorry if we spoke about this literally a year ago prior to elections, everybody would think we were crazy. You would never believe in a million years in America that after everything we went through to get to how far we've gotten to, that America could digress to such a way, especially so quickly. Just think about it. It hasn't even been a year. Just think about how much we've lost, how quickly we've digressed in a quick period, and how quick period. In 9 months, literally, in 9 months, we're at a point where if you take a look at any of these if any one of these circumstances, you would think that it's the end of democracy or our constitution. But we're taking so many, and it's happening every day. You put on the TV, you don't have to put on reality shows like Cops or anything. You just put on the local news, and you're watching people getting dragged off the street, people fighting, screaming, masked men running. Just think about it. Now you got Naum, Christy Naum, that thinks. I mean, they're like characters. They get dressed up like they're going to some kind of premiere, putting on their Rolex watches and getting all dolled up, dressed up. Then they put on this ice suit and they start making videos. People's lives are at stake. People are crying, losing. They're suffering, and they're standing there making videos. How we're going to go in there. We're going to get it. We're going to destroy this. We're going to destroy who and what. It has no idea. And it's really sad situation. And a lot of people say, what do we do? Well, what we do is, first of all, we make our voices be heard. I know, and I hate to say it because a lot of you are frustrated because you're like, we are doing. A lot of you are. So for those of you that are, God bless you. I mean, but those of you that aren't, the new people aren't, or the ones that, a lot of people just sometimes sit there and say, you know what can I do? You could do something. Trust me, a phone call, going out there protesting, making signs, becoming subscribers, writing to your congressmen and senators, putting pressure. I mean, where you live, anything. We have to keep acting and doing because guys, we're at a precipice right now, like you can't even imagine. I mean, this is it.
This is it, folks. I mean,
This is
trust the
it.
evidence in your eyes and ears. This is it. And people who kept saying, I said this earlier today, Lev. I think I was talking to Allison or Danielle. I can't even remember. Gosh, it's only Monday. Oh
Yeah.
God, it's only Monday. Um, you know, 8 months ago, when there were a lot of folks, intelligent folks, when I told them you have no idea what's in store, they said, "Waj, you're being hyperbolic. Waj, stop." I was telling them I went to an event, and it was Eid. It was an Eid event, and so all these family members are there, and people know I know about politics, so all the husbands were asking me, "Waj, what do you think?" I told them, I said, "I don't think this guy's going to leave. I think he's going to go for martial law. I believe if you have a dual citizenship, you should hold on to that passport, get it renewed, just be safe. I also said, make money, as much money as you can, hold on to your property, have some money at home. I literally said this, folks. And I said, first he went after transgender communities, he went after pro-Palestinian activists, he's going to go after Muslims, students, immigrants, and then he's going to unleash the National Guard. And he's going to stay in power forever until he dies. He's not going to leave. And then these husbands apparently went and told their wives. And so a couple of the wives came to me and said, "You are no longer allowed to talk to my husband. You are scaring them. What the hell are you talking about? Save money and dual citizenship." I'm like, "You all aren't paying attention." And they kept saying, "This is America. It won't happen here. There are guardrails." I'm like, "No, it can happen here. Those guardrails have been weakened for the past 10 years, and there's Project 2025, and they have a plan. And corporate America and all corporations, we're going to lay out the red carpet. You've seen it. They all laid out the red carpet for fascism. And furthermore, what we've seen is Stephen Miller, like you said, they've been planning a Rackstack fire. The Rackstack fire was in the form of Charlie Kirk's murder. Notice they don't talk about Charlie Kirk anymore. Notice they don't talk about Tyler Robinson anymore. It's done. And before there was any evidence, any motive, they blamed left-wing violence. It ended up being allegedly Tyler Robinson, an apolitical white guy from a conservative family. They don't bring it up. And then at Charlie Kirk's memorial, which was a propaganda rally, Stephen Miller essentially does his reboot of Goebbels' "The Storm is Coming" speech of 1932. And they made Charlie Kirk into the Horst Wessel, the martyr. Was a young man, SS member who was killed by a communist, and they made him into a martyr, right? And then they're looking for the Reichstag fire to justify martial law. So now they're looking for the Reichstag fire, right? They thought it would be Charlie Kirk's murder. They thought it'd be the ICE shooting. So now they're just going to create something. And that's what you're seeing, Lev. They're just creating something.
Yeah.
Example, Portland is a war zone. No, it isn't. We don't give a shit. Our base will believe it because Trump said it. And we're going to use that as an excuse. Or Venezuela's a drug cartel, wars. Do you have any proof that you killed the drug cartel? Do you have any proof that those 17 people you killed were carrying drugs? Doesn't matter. I said so. So they're looking, folks. It's like throwing spaghetti bowl at a wall. Whatever sticks and whatever doesn't stick. But this is where I think, Lev, it is dangerous, but I feel there's overreach happening. I feel like the Epstein files, people want it released, the government shutdown, people are pissed off, blaming Republicans, the economy, people are blaming Trump, people are pissed off, Candace Owens, and the rifts within MAGA over Israel and Charlie Kirk's murder, and now the National Guard. I feel like there are too many leaks in this Trump ship. Am I being too optimistic here?
No, you're 100% right. The problem is we just need somebody to start, you're taking like a hammer to the leaks so the floodgate opens up. Like I'll give you an example, because there's so many happening, but I'll give you one. We have the number one kryptonite that Trump has is the Epstein files. There's two things that we've been speaking about, screaming at the top of our lungs, and obviously nobody. You could see it play out, and you could see it's obviously true, and nothing is happening. A is Dan Bongino. Nobody's talking. Nobody's calling him out there. No media. No, just somebody mentioned his name to Donald
Is
Trump
he in
one
a milk
time.
carton? Where is he? Where is he?
That's what I'm saying to you. It's like he's completely disappeared. This is a guy that anyway. I don't know. I get started, but damn, but number two, you have actual survivors and victims that stood on the Capitol ground and said, "Listen, we want to see our president. We are not Democrats. Some of them are Republican conservatives saying we want to sit down and tell you it's not a hoax." You know how powerful that is, Wash?
Yep.
I can't even explain to the people out there how powerful that is. We should be every day in the morning, there should be a press conference on the White House lawn with a group of Democratic leadership, with some of these survivor or a new survivor every day, talking about Mr. President and having the media out there and talking about how they want to sit down and let him respond why he's not sitting down. A simple thing, why he won't sit down with the victims and the survivors, because that's his kryptonite. He can't do it. He can't
Can't.
face it. He doesn't know what to say. That's one. But while you're in front of the camera, take the opportunity and remind the world that it's the Republicans and Trump and Project 2025 why we have the shutdown. Remind them of Project 2025. Trump admitted it. He's conceived it. Remember when Kamala Harris brought up Project 2025 on the campaign trail? Trump almost had a heart attack. He ran around saying, "I know nothing about it." You have those two situations, right? But instead, we have nothing. Watch, this is what pisses me off. Yes, we scream and yell, but they have the pulpit. They could have the media. If I could get the media, I would be right now, I promise you. If I could had the power like they have to get it, I would be in front of the White House every single day in the morning doing a press, because that's how you take away his power, because now he has to respond to you.
There you
This
go.
is what I mean by taking away the news cycle a little bit, and also show the people. But there's no way. That's what they're doing, because who comes on the media every morning? Mr. Johnson, Speaker of the House. He speaks so nicely, elegantly, how the Democrats are such monsters because the Republicans want so. Every day, every day they're coming out, and they play it on, and CNN covers it, MSNBC covers it, every single station covers it. And you know what happens afterward, Wash? An hour or two later, you see Hakeem Jeffries or Schumer running to respond to, res- to respond to what Johnson or somebody said earlier in the morning. It is insane. They should be in the morning. You got to kryptonite. You got right now, if they would do it one time, then the media would have to ask Trump in the Oval. I guarantee you, if they would do that in the morning on the Oval, Trump would not come out that whole day and not in front of the media, because you can't face it.
I
I
mean,
know.
you got an easy one. Why aren't you swearing in Adelita Grijalva, who won the election in Arizona? Because you don't want a vote on the releasing the Epstein files. Get them again and again and again. Keep getting them on Epstein. I'm telling you, folks, we've been saying it for months. It is the cankle, the Achilles cankle of Donald Trump. He would rather burn the country down than get those files out. Okay, like it's happening. That's the one thing he is terrified of. They're all terrified of it. Mike Johnson, I want to remind y'all, I brought this up the last couple of days. They shut down the House early instead of even getting a vote, and that's when they didn't even have Adelita Grijalva. Right? They're like, we don't even want to vote on this. We're going to shut down the House, and then Republicans went and visited Netanyahu in Israel. Not making this up. So if I were them, I would keep the Epstein files tied to Adelita Grijalva, tie it to the votes, tied to the shutdown, and then also the healthcare. I think more and more people are realizing that Republicans want to take away these healthcare subsidies that will double their healthcare premiums. They're like, why do you want to do that to us Republicans? They have no answer. And oh yeah, I just found out you passed that big beautiful bill which cuts $1 trillion from Medicaid. Why do you want to do that? Why? And then so now it seems that like so far, the majority of people blame Republicans, but those numbers should be even higher. And what I think Lev is saying is you need a sustained offensive effort.
Yeah.
And I like AOC. AOC today went, and I'll give you an example of what she said, Liv. AOC and even Gavin Newsom's social media team. AOC said, Stephen Miller, he's a weirdo. He's 4'10". He just seems, I think he's pissed off that he's 4'10". And guess what happened today, just an hour ago on Fox? Stephen Miller responds to the 4'10" mark. You have to just be proactive and hit them, hit them, hit them.
And that's a great example. But here, this is what I'm saying to you. See what you said, like AOC made a comment and it hit him. Gavin Newsom makes comments and it hits him. But AOC and Gavin Newsom is not the pulpit where the world listens to. We need the leaders, like,
But there are no leaders. They
but
aren't leaders. They're not
I
built
know,
for this.
but we need, like, if them put three, four, five of put a joint effort, put five of them out there. It has to be a joint message so the world could hear it. Because yes, and that's why I say the attacks are great and they need to continue. We need to keep fighting them, hit them with the memes, you hit them where, but there also has to be. It's like, in a war, you can't just go, okay, we're gonna shoot you like this. You have different. You have air assaults, you have water assaults, you have ground assaults. The Democrat, you have to hit them in different spots. So while AOC, while you have Gavin Newsom doing a credible job trolling him, you guys have to be out there and being the face for the rest of the country, giving him the message. And listen to what you said. You just said, in like literally in 30 seconds, you gave the message. Healthcare. They're shutting down the what's it called. but they have to say it every day in front of the pulpit. They have the Epstein survivors giving them the media coverage. If they go in front of them, this is it's simple. It's not rocket scientists. Right now, they go. If you take some of these leaders, like Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer and Ro Khanna, and you put 3, 4 guys, and maybe Messe, and you take some of these, and even maybe Marjorie Taylor Greene, go out there right now, and because she's also asking it, and the message should be, we want it, and see the victims want to see our president. We want to tell you, once you're there, you also go into saying, and in the meantime, are your prices, your Medicaid, they're shutting it down. They shut down the government because it's a coordinated. It's like, listen, I'm not a
Lev, there's no coordination right now because there's a vacancy for leadership in the Democratic Party. It's a unspoken civil war. The Democrats are spending all their time, the leadership, trying to destroy Mamdani. They're trying to court so-called moderates. They're trying to isolate anyone who's critical on Netanyahu and corporate money. Hakeem Jeffries and Schumer just want to maintain their power, and they're just not built for this. And that's why it explains why what you've just described, this fractured response, where it's an ad hoc response. Khanna's doing his thing, Van Hollen's doing his thing, Murphy's doing his thing, AOC's doing her thing. It's not a unified effort because there's no unified party. And furthermore, there are factions in the party who are doing more against their own party than Trump. Uh,
That's another thing. That's
so
absolutely.
that's what's happening. They're like, we must destroy Mamdani, even if it means burning down the party. And so that's why I think you're going to see new leadership rise up, and it's going to be the rest of us. It's going to be all of us marching, no King's rally, all of us being public, all of us
Absolutely.
using our social media to speak out, all of us helping each other. We need white people, Grand Tifa, grandmas. I'm talking to you, Grand Tifa. I have a lot of faith in you, Grand Tifa, showing up because white lives matter more in America. When white people show up and when white people are beaten up, this country cares more. When they saw that 79-year-old white man being assaulted by ICE, you better believe it hit different. So we need white folks. We need white women out on the front lines. We need a multicultural effort. We need our bodies out there. We need boycotts, and we need to keep raising hell. And when it comes to Democrats, we criticize them because they're movable. You can move them at least. You can move them to action. You can't really move the MAGA anymore because it's a cult. So this is why when we put pressure on Democrats, it's to move them to action, folks. Lev, I'll give you the final word. Thanks for joining us late, everyone. There's about 2,000 people. It's me and Lev. We're talking about Donald Trump. Our prediction is he's going to go for martial law. He's going to invoke the Insurrection Act. If you don't believe us, look at the evidence of your eyes and ears from today where he didn't say no. He didn't say no. We try to connect the dots. This will be up on my Substack and Left Substack later on tonight. There's no paywalls. Everything's free. Subscribe to Lev. Subscribe to the Left Hook. Lev, final word to you.
I mean, listen, we've been warning and we warn every single day. Right now, we need action. Part of the action is making our voices loud enough to be able to be heard. It's great to have 2,000 people, but we need 200,000 people, 2 million people. We need a much bigger platform. What I want to ask you, Waj, maybe together, let's think about a way, because yes, there's not a unified message. Maybe in the Democratic leadership, maybe me and you could put together a unified message on this platform. Because just like in the Democratic leadership, there's also a lot of powerful accounts on this platform that are also doing their thing. We need to somehow figure out how maybe once a month or do something where we all join together, where we all meet up together, where we maybe do a big Zoom call where we're reaching out, where we join all forces, because the information that we're trying to, and we're all trying to do the same thing, but we're reaching out to little bits and pieces. That's the difference between, because when I was inside of MAGA, what makes MAGA so strong, what makes them so strong, is when they get a message, they all push the message. Every influencer, to take an example, they could about the Epstein files. Marjorie Taylor Greene stood up against Trump. You had others stand up against Trump. But when Charlie Kirk passed away, they all came back together, and the message message was unified against that it was the left-wing Democrats to do it. So what I'm saying to you is one of the major things that we need to do is unify our message. And if the Democratic leadership is not doing, maybe we could do it with the influencers that we have on, like the Substack, the only platform we have, and put together some kind of powerful, unified. I don't know. Like there is technology where we could put 4, 5, 6 people. Telethons. Once a month. Whatever. But really, or once a week. I don't know. But we need to get the message out far and wider because time is running out, and every day we speak about it. And if we don't act quicker, and if we don't act soon, one day we're gonna wake up, and I don't want to be. I don't want to be right about that. That's the one thing I want to be wrong about, and it's giving me such anxiety. I can't even tell you lately because, especially knowing and speaking to the people, it's one thing when I relay the message, but I have to live with the shit. I have to live with the information that is inside my head every single day, knowing where we're going and having all my kids, knowing the future that we're involved in, and knowing that literally, we need a lot. It's like being in the fourth quarter and we're down by 3 touchdowns. We need a lot to. Can we still win it? Absolutely. Do we have a chance? Yeah. But every day that goes by, we're losing more and more of an opportunity. So I'm sorry if I sound alarming, but it's a very alarming time, very dangerous time, very scary time, and that's why each and every one of you that sits there sometimes and thinks that somebody else is going to do it. No, each and every one of you, close your eyes for just 2 seconds and think, what can I do today? From becoming a subscriber to going out and on No Kings and protesting to writing your congressmen and congresswomen to going out and flooding their phone calls, and not just the Democrats, guys, the Republicans also, because like I say to you, there's 200 other Republicans out there that if 3, 4 of them start flipping on subjects, if we could get Marjorie Taylor Greene to agree with us on the Epstein files, then I'm sure we could get some other congressmen and congresswomen to agree with us that we shouldn't have martial law and that we shouldn't have troops running into our country, our cities and states. So that's what I'm saying to you. Just gotta be loud, gotta be strong. Can't look at this as some show and move on. You have to take this seriously because we're fighting for our freedom and our democracy. I'm sorry.
No, no need to say I'm sorry. I met Lev in the summer. He was a bit more relaxed, and increasingly, each time he just he gets more and more exasperated, and I don't blame him. Look at it, man. Just look at trust the evidence of your eyes and ears, folks. Trust the evidence of your eyes, your ears. That's all I keep saying. Folks, this has been the Left Hook and Lev Remembers. Thank you all for joining us late night on a Monday night during Monday Night Football. But it's important because Trump said it today. Take him literally and seriously. He didn't say no to not pardoning Maxwell. He didn't say no to not invoking the Insurrection Act. Look at what Stephen Miller's saying. He's been hitting the rounds all day. See it. You're seeing it. You're seeing the ICE agents terrorizing not just kids, but also cops. Cops got tear gassed, folks. So if this is what they're doing to cops and kids, what are they going to do to people like me and Lev and you? There's more of us than there are of them, though. There are more of us than there are of them. So be kind to each other, be empathetic, be joyful warriors, rest when you have to, and please, oh, please, don't be a fascist. Lev, take care of those
Yeah,
7
brother.
kids.
Thank you, brother. You take yeah, 100.